Have you ever wondered what it really takes to build a successful, fulfilling life? Today, we're going to break down a powerful framework that does just that. And it's all built around one single game-changing idea. Success isn't some final destination you arrive at. It's the path you're walking every single day. Let's get into it. This right here, this is the core idea. Just think about it for a second. Everything about your life right now, where you live, what you do, who you're with, it's all a result of things you did in the past. And that means the future you're dreaming of, it's being built as we speak, in this very moment with every little thing you do. So let's start with that fundamental principle. It is so easy to think of success as a finish line, right? You get the promotion, you hit the financial goal, you achieve that one big thing. But this whole way of thinking completely reframes it. It's not a destination, it's a process, a journey you're on day in and day out. And you know, at the very heart of this journey is your mindset. This idea that what you think, you become is absolutely crucial. Our thoughts shape our actions, and our actions, well, they literally create a reality. A huge piece of that reality, especially if you're aiming for a life of peace and prosperity, is getting to a place of financial self-sufficiency. Okay, so how do we actually structure this journey? This framework gives us a really balanced approach, built on 4 essential pillars that together support a truly well-rounded life. So here they are. The idea is to try and balance your 24 hours across these 4 key areas. First up, you've got health and fitness. I mean, that's your foundation, right? Then you have your career, your relationships with friends and family, and finally, your own self-development. The goal isn't perfection, but giving consistent attention to all 4. Now, while that balance is key, this framework makes a really interesting point. It puts a special emphasis on just one of these pillars, self-development. And the reason is pretty powerful when you think about it. Improving yourself, your skills, your knowledge, your whole mindset, it's like the rising tide that lifts all the other boats. So if life is a journey and these are the pillars that hold it up, what's in our toolkit? What do we actually need to pack for the trip? This next part breaks down all the essential components you need to navigate the path, well, successfully. Think of these as the practical skills and attitudes you need. It all has to start with an internal driver, right? Desire. But just wanting something isn't enough. You have to channel that desire into clear, well-defined goals. That's what gives you direction. And here's the pro tip. Actually write your goals down in a notebook every single day. It sounds simple, but it solidifies them in your mind and keeps you focused. So you've got your goals. Now comes the action, and just as importantly, the mindset. This means rolling up your sleeves and embracing hard work, day after day. But it also means being ready for the inevitable obstacles with perseverance and a positive outlook. This is all about resilience, learning from failures instead of letting them stop you. And of course, in a world that's always changing, you've got to be able to adapt and just commit to always be learning. Having a great mindset is crucial, but results come from execution. This is where the really practical skills come in, like effective planning and knowing how to prioritize. Mastering your time is an absolute game changer for your productivity and for that life balance we talked about. But look, success rarely happens alone, which is why developing strong communication and leadership skills is so important. And finally, all of this has to be built on a solid foundation of ethics and relationships. Being honest and maintaining your integrity builds trust, and trust is priceless. A huge part of this is developing your emotional intelligence, understanding yourself, understanding others, and steering clear of those negative emotions that can drag you down. And on a very practical level, building a strong network of connections is what opens up a world of new opportunities. Okay, wow, that's a lot of tools, right? So how do you actually start using them without feeling totally overwhelmed? Well, the answer is beautifully simple. You don't have to change everything all at once. In fact, the biggest transformations happen through incredibly small, consistent steps. And this brings us to this amazing concept called the Kaizen method. It's a philosophy focused on continuous improvement through these tiny, incremental changes. So instead of trying to make some massive leap, the whole idea is to just make one thing 1% better. It is an incredibly powerful way to get past procrastination and that fear of just getting started. And the best part is, you can apply this method literally right now. First, just pick one single area you want to work on. Let's say it's your health. Second, break it down to the smallest possible action you can imagine. Not go to the gym, but do one push-up. Third, and this is the most important part, take that tiny action today. That's it. You've started. So what happens when you keep repeating those tiny little steps? Well, that's when you see the magic of the compounding effect. That one push-up becomes 2, then 10. Reading 1 page a day turns into a book a month, then a dozen books a year. It's the powerful principle that small, smart choices, plus consistency, plus time, equal massive results. As we start to wrap this up, let's bring it all back home. This framework, it's not just a bunch of instructions. It's really an invitation to make a promise to yourself, a commitment to actively build the future you really want. You know, the world is not standing still, and neither can we. Change is the only thing that's guaranteed. So the only real choice we have is whether we just react to it or if we proactively embrace it. By committing to small, positive changes in our own lives, we don't just keep up with the world, we actually start to shape our place in it. So that brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important question. This isn't about tomorrow or next week, it's about right now. Looking at everything we've talked about, the pillars, the tools, the incredible power of small steps, what is the one tiny action you're going to take today to get started?